I mean, actually, there's a lot here. Like in the supers, Equip Basic Sword saying recommend playing a Dark Knight as well. It's got a story that's amazing.
Oh yeah.
Which again, knowing that like I can just swap over to that on my character, that's really cool. Aogard saying in WoW, I feel like the game actively is wasting my time with systems. In FF, I'm constantly making progress and things. Nothing gets tossed away. I think that's a humongous thing for how people feel in WoW right now, where sometimes the systems can feel like content elongation systems. From a lot of what I understand in FF, it is just do the content, then you're done, and you can leave if you want.
Yeah.
Hopefully come back in the next patch, which I'm certainly more okay with that than, yes, sometimes in WoW. I mean, look, people could maybe think back to the time last week where I almost exploded on stream because of the randomness on the conduit upgrade system and how disrespectful that is of players' time. Maybe seems like FF doesn't do that sort of thing.
It is definitely disrespectful of your time in some ways.
Okay, right.
But primarily it is just going, it's your time, do what you want. We will let you ruin your life if you really feel like it.
But like, is that through game design that feels player adversarial? Like it is with WoW, like with a corruption vendor, random rotation? Just the rotation turned out not being random.
No examples that I can think of.
Okay.
It's just a case of there's rewards at the end of extremely, extremely long sticks.
Yeah.
And maybe the content's not always new and exciting as you do those.
Gotcha.
Maybe you are doing old shit, or you're doing something that's maybe not super engaging. You're grinding something.
Yeah.
I still haven't went to get my relic weapon. I'm kind of terrified.
I hear those are quite a bit of work.
Yep.
Nino says to try to lean this into WoW, I think both games offer something different. Some people don't want to sit through hours of story. Yeah. I think if you are a MDI competitor or competitive Mythic Raider, unless you also want to play a JRPG at the same time, it seems like FF is just not for you. Like from what I understand of this game, I could not fathom a dedicated Mythic Plus player playing FF in the way that they play WoW at all.
There's room for playing a lot of endgame content in one sitting.
Yes.
But there's not the same kind of feeling overall.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like the texture of the content sort of.
Yeah, no, I can't imagine that ever happening. And I wouldn't recommend it because I feel like there would be too many people who are like almost against the story. Not FF specifically, but the amount of people who go, I want to play World of Warcraft because I want to get into the endgame content.
Yeah, they want to play it like it's Destiny, maybe.
Yeah, and that kind of, you could do it, but I would never recommend it to anyone because, like, I haven't had a food analogy yet. It's like offering someone incredible food, like, here is the tastiest bread you've ever had in your life, and it comes with, you also like the, say, ham sandwich. You really, really love ham. Here's the best bread of your life with some really good ham in it. And they're like, bread kills me. And you're like, well, all right then. It's just that case of, there's no point. They'll just take the bread off, throw it away. Yeah, they're like, what are you doing? Yeah. That's the best bread ever made. You can't. That will happen to people, I think. And fair.
Different games. That's the strength of both. I think that they're different.
Yep, absolutely.
Sean Grant saying that he loves how balanced all the classes and jobs are. That's interesting. I have no idea about balance or endgame in this game.
Yeah, it's not perfect. Not perfect, but I haven't seen too much about it. No one's cried at me for playing a bard yet. Even though they don't seem optimal. But.
Then Chris Ward has said Yoshi P once told a player that claimed to be burnt out to take a break and play other games to find that spark again. Blizzard would never. Generally, I think Blizzard would never. Lore did say that in the context of streamers getting burnt out only playing WoW. Yeah. So fair enough to Lore in that one. But, to a degree, I feel like Blizzard are, they're very official in their stances, and I feel like they struggle to sort of engage with the player base sometimes.
Yep. Absolutely.
Oh man, yeah. Jared Randall says, there is something to be said for variety, though. In FF14, every class and every item is face value. There's almost zero variety. That's my problem.
Definitely a lack of variety in a couple of ways.
Okay, right.
Where it is very much, here you go, here's your job, I hope you like it. It's never get this item and your rotation changes, or here's an item that does anything really interesting. It is always just, here's an item that gives you 237 dexterity, that makes your numbers bigger. It looks really cool, or maybe it looks terrible and you want to use something cool and glamour it over it. But I will agree it is massively face value. There's no like custom, like the fact that there's no idea of anything like a talent or anything like that is literally, here you go, enjoy.
Yeah.
It's
kind of wild, actually. Yeah.
It is almost like an extremely good buffet where they're like, here's lots of delicious things, go for it, and you're like, can I have anything different? No, no. This is the set menus, not like here's everything in linear order, but here's the set menus. You're like, okay.
I guess it's ballsy. It's the sort of thing. There's obvious downsides, but I
Yeah.
guess they're able to reap the upsides of making a decision like that.
Yep.
We've got Izal Fulm saying, I know you're playing WoW music in the background. One day you should play something from FF14 so people can hear. From what I've heard of the Britannia soundtrack, it's lovely.
Yeah.
So I'm sure that would work. And yeah, it'll be a fun little thing to do whenever we get into an FF segment.
I desperately wanted to enter the stream with Neath Dark Waters, but we didn't have time today.
Oh, man. Yeah, JW says 14 doesn't have required side content like corruptions, HOA, soulbinds. Side stuff is side stuff and mostly for cosmetic rewards and not player power. Seems good to me.
Yep.
Because it's like, yeah, corruptions, Heart of Azeroth, and soulbinds. That's like not content that I've done because I've enjoyed it or because I like wanted to do it. But like, if soulbinds had nothing to do with my character, like per se, in terms of like core endgame stuff, but it was like I get to go on a whole bunch of personal quest lines with these 3 characters throughout this entire expansion, and I get some cool, rewards, I'd be so much more. Yeah, that's a version of Soulbinds that I'm excited about because it's about like the world and the fantasy and all of that stuff. And I say that thinking that Raiders would also prefer that and Mythic Plusers because they don't seem to like those systems as player power systems. So like, it's like, I agree that the fantasy is cool,
Same.
but maybe just not the way that it's being particularly implemented. So yeah, man, wow, lots of FF stuff.